We have Rebeca, Nieves, Huffman here with us, Ivelissa, Rios. And let me tell you that between all three of them, they have over 2.5 million followers. Please, let's get started. Give them a round of applause.
I know that we had an awesome lunch y todo el mundo está como medio dormido, so I'm going to give you guys 2 seconds to loosen up a little bit because we're going to get ready for a really good conversation with these two amazing Boricuas. And a quick introduction, my name is again Jessica Van DeJesus, and I am a food and travel writer. And I live in Brussels, Belgium, and I'm probably the only Boricua there. Hay que buscar. Pero
Boricua in Brussels, I see the hashtag already.
La primera pregunta que yo le hice a ella fue, ven acá, ya, ellos escuchan Bad Bunny.
Claro.
Con las ventanas bajas.
Soy yo. I do it to trigger the locals. Well, no further ado, I know that you guys all know Rebeca and Ivelissa, but I also wanted to quickly introduce you guys just to give you a snapshot about their life beyond social media, because they're both these two amazing Boricuas doing great things. So Rebeca, she's from hometown darling, grew up in Humboldt Park. And she spent over 20 years working in the nonprofit space, so she has some great insight from both her day job and her 24-hour job as Rebeca Huffman, food influencer. And I want to introduce you also to Ivelissa. And this is a tidbit that everybody's gonna be shocked when you hear this. She does not like public speaking. No, en serio. She's like, every morning I get up, me pongo en Facebook, I give this, 4,000 people log into my lives for an hour, and I can talk, but en persona se nos frisa la chica. So,
Es que I see everybody looking at me like...
no, hay que darte mucho cariñito, so make sure you guys le dan mucho cariñito. So just to give you guys a quick flow, it's going to be a very casual conversation, and then at the end we will have a Q&A, so you guys have your opportunity to ask questions. Just want to let you guys know there's 2 microphones on each side, so you can go up and ask them the questions. So let's get started. So we'll start with Rebeca and then go to Ivelissa. So how did you get started with social media?
Well, first of all, I want to just thank Billy and Veronica, that power couple who aspires to be a Puerto Rican power couple like those two. They're the best. Ivelissa estaba diciendo que when she's around us and she's around Billy and Veronica, que sentimos que estamos entre familia.
Yep.
So for your hospitality and for providing sangria for our lunch too, which y'all better not get sleepy. Mil gracias. We love you guys, and Chicago loves you especially. I'm Rebeca Nieves Huffman. I was born and raised in this community, and I stand on the shoulders of giants, really. I stand on the shoulders of my mom, of my tias, of all the women in my family que me apoyó to really, learn not to just how to go and get the bacon, have a career and educate myself in college, but then come back home and fry it up in a pan. All right, but another giant that I have to point out is my mentor and dear friend for the longest time, and that's Mary Santana, the founder of the Miracle Center. There was a point in the previous panel that was made of making sure that we're cultivating the next generation of leadership, and I was 17 years old. That woman let me live with her for the summer and help her start her nonprofit that now has made a huge impact in the lives of the young people in the city of Chicago. So Mary, we love you. So basically back in March of 2020, when we all thought, oh, this is 2020, this is the year where we're gonna lose weight, we're gonna just do like great things in our lives, we're gonna shift our careers, then, la maldita Rona comes around. And
Hizo, mira.
That's right. And so in March, what I did, what many of you did, estábamos en las redes porque all the TV programs were, canceled because of this global pandemic. And I was watching these phenomenal women on social media sharing Puerto Rican recipes. Ivelissa and our dear friend Omi, Omi lives in Rhode Island, and she lives in Orlando. Yo estoy in Chicago, and I'm watching all of these incredible recipes and the dichos y la música, and I'm like, Yes, this is
That's me.
me. I saw myself in your content. I saw myself in Omi. So that's in March until July. I'm just watching, hoping that this thing would go away, you know, Rona. And then my daughter said, Mommy, why don't we share our recipes? Mama is living with us. My mom, who's 82 years old and unfortunately has dementia, she was living with us. My sister and I were half of the year. Mommy was living with me and I was taking care of her. The other half of the year, my sister was taking care of her. Mami es bien inteligente. Aquí, en el frío de Chicago, tú no me coges. So, cuando se pone frío, yo me voy para Florida. I'm like, okay, Mami, that's fine. So, during that time, that summer of 2020, Mami was living with us. And when I started posting about my mom and the journey of caretaking for someone that you love so deeply, and sharing our food and our recipes and all that stuff, la gente, like, it was like a magnet, and my account, my social media account just grew exponentially, and it was our people, it was nuestra gente that was just apoyando eso. And so that's how I got started in social media. To answer your question, was just really listening to my daughter's suggestion and saying, we should be on TikTok. I'm like, nena, es una aplicación para los teeny boppers.
Para los muchachitos,
Tú no me
para los
coges, you know,
teenagers.
being a silly person. You check my account right now. What was I doing? I was doing a little dance video with her. Y aquí, tú sabes, we're having a good time. We're connecting with our community. And most importantly, and this is the thing that I love about what I do, is I'm educating everyone about how beautiful our culture is,
Yes.
how delicious our food is, and the similarity between even other Latino cultures as well, and the things that we share. And it has just been an incredible journey because I've been able to meet Omi and Ivelissa and other influencers and other people that we all share in this passion for food and our culture. And so, yeah, that's how it started. And it's crazy how you know, it grew really quickly. I think it's also because we had a captive audience because there was no TV programming going on that was, all we saw were these press conferences and how depressing the news kept on getting every single time. And so one thing I would say is that the three of us really became a source of like an escape for people from the reality of what was happening. And when we went to, remember when we went to New York for the Puerto Rican Day Festival and the people that came up to us like, thank you, because we really, during such a dark period of time, we connected to our culture and it gave us hope. And so that, long-winded way of saying that's how I got started on social media. You're right, girl.
Pues
Go.
mira, no, la cosa
Ivelissa.
es que ahora hoy en día ya no es el televisor, ahora es el celular. Mi nombre es Ivelissa, de Corozal, Puerto Rico. Vivo platanera de pura cepa. Vivo en Orlando, Florida, hace 20 años. Yo soy enfermera. Yo soy madre de 3 hijos, 21, 11 y 7. Y tengo un esposo dominicano. So, cuando tú ves mis recetas, tengo también ese sazón de los dominicanos. Entonces yo empecé, como mismo dice Becky, en la pandemia. Bueno, pues haciendo videos. ¿Ustedes saben qué fue lo que a mí se me fue viral? Para que tú veas qué poca vergüenza cómo somos nosotros los boricuas. Un arroz con huevo. Un arroz con huevo y jamonilla. Yo dije, pues mira, como yo veo que estaba todo el mundo en TikTok, pues entonces estaba todo el mundo para aquí y para allá. Yo dije, yo no puedo quedar atrás como el rabo del perro. Pues entonces me metí yo a TikTok. Mira, nena, y empezaron esos números a subir. Y la gente decía, me toca hacer una vieja chancluda, que lo que hace es gritar, que lo que hace es esto y lo otro. Pero ustedes saben qué, yo dije que no iba a llorar. Pero mientras yo empecé ahí, poniendo recetas y todo, pues un día estoy en bate con el Vicks, mis hijas y mis hijos, I'm so sorry, con yuca, pero yo uso Vicks, o sea que para el boricua el Vicks lo cura todo. Pues entonces y me pica aquí el Vicks, si tengo aquí un pimple el Vicks, pues me jalté de Vicks, me puse la bata y los tenis, mami tengo hambre, mami. Las 10 de la noche, y esto muchacho me va a meter. Y yo dije, voy a hacer un arroz con huevo, rayo, para estar rápido. Mira, le hice el arroz con huevo y yo dije, espérate, que ahora todo se publica, tú tienes que tener cuidado porque ahora todo se publica y todo el mundo tiene el teléfono y te graba y caíste en la página de Cheo. Entonces, yo no sé quién conoce aquí, se acuerda de la página de Cheo. Es el periódico El Vocero en Puerto Rico. ¿Verdad que sí? ¿Te acuerdas, verdad? Ok. Entonces, bueno, pues lo grabo, me fui viral, terminé, me llamaron de Univisión. Me llamaron de Telemundo. Esta chatita que está aquí, mamita. Explicando cómo yo llegué a tener 500,000 seguidores en TikTok. Sí, mi amor, no te equivoques. Y yo digo, hablando de un arroz con huevo. Pues entonces, mientras yo estoy compartiendo esa historia todos los días, yo no me estaba dando cuenta que yo me empecé a transformar. Entonces, yo siempre supe que yo tenía un problema, como todo. Porque aquí no todos tenemos uno, tenemos más de uno, un saco de problemas. Pero a mí me gustaba doblar el codo. Yo me daba el palo, salía del hospital y me venía a dar mi traguito. Y me una fumadita también, porque ¿por qué no? Ajá. Y entonces, sí, yo soy enfermera y si alguien quiere saber, mira, cállate, tú no quieres estar en el hospital trabajando con todos esos doctores que no te mojar toda la vida. Pues entonces llegaba a mi casa y me daba el palito. Me daba el palito que seguía. Cuando yo seguía entonces en las redes posteando videos y yo veía mira, está hizo un mofongo. El mofongo no se hace así. Esto no es de Puerto Rico. Ahora vas a ver cómo es que yo hago un mofongo de verdad. Pues me ponía yo ahí a hacer mi mofongo con mi estilo. Y hablando así como yo te estoy hablando ahora. Y esto no es un personaje, esta soy yo. Bueno, pues entonces empecé a ir para abajo. Ahí fue que me di cuenta que yo decía, espérate, no me he ido a beber el vino todavía. Y así siguieron pasando los días. Cuando yo vine a ver, ya llevo 2 años en este journey, como nosotros decimos, poquito a poco, haciendo videos aquí y allá. 2 años limpia de alcohol y 2 años limpia de cigarro. Y nosotros como boricua, nosotros nos gusta. Yo crecí con mi mamá y mi papá en las parrandas, en las fiestas de Navidad, el pitorro guardado en la cocina. En casa tú ibas a la cocina y estaba el pitorro guardado curadito. Y el pitorro y la cervecita uno no se da cuenta que todos los días va formando un mal hábito. Es fine, date el palo, date la jaladita del cigarrillo si quieres, pero que eso no se convierta en un hábito que sea más grande que tú. Entonces, bueno, pues aquí estoy compartiendo mi historia y de que yo salí haciendo un arroz con huevo, terminé dándome cuenta que yo tenía un problema de alcohol que llevo 2 años ya.
Ivelissa, y me encanta que tu historia es bien orgánica, o sea, que no fue algo con una estrategia, o sea, la cámara ahí, voy a hacer videos. Y yo sé que estoy consciente de que muchas de las organizaciones aquí recursos para tener un equipo de social media, or a lot of the organizations here may not have the budget to have a social media team, and Ivelissa and both Rebeca's growth has been very organic. And my question for you, Ivelissa, for those who don't have a big budget or don't have a lot of resources, what are the things that you recommend for them to have in order to create that content for their organizations?
Mira, cuando tú quieres vender un producto, McDonald's, tú sabes que hace los hamburgues. Tú sabes toda la gente que hace hamburgues por ahí, que hace un hamburger mejor que McDonald's. Mejor que McDonald's. ¿Verdad que sí? ¿Sabes cuál es la diferencia? Que McDonald's tiene el cascajo para que todo el mundo lo vea. Y los que venden por ahí el carrito de hamburger de por ahí de la esquinita no tiene ese porche. No significa que porque ellos sean los que estén, sean los mejores. Tú tienes que tener ojos que te vean. Y lo demás, una vez ya la gente llega donde ti, olvídate que el producto se va como guineo en boca vieja, como yo digo. ¿Tú sabes qué significa eso? Que se va rápido. ¿Qué es lo que yo quiero decir aquí? Cuando tú no tengas el budget, mira, sigue. Ahora mismo no hay televisión. Ahora lo que hay son los influencers. Pero claro, aquí hay para todo el mundo. Tú sabes, aquí hay más días que lo organiza. Aquí hay para todo el mundo. Búscate la persona que tú creas que encaja con tu visión, con lo que tú quieres. Y mira, sigue mandando emails. Sigue buscándote esas personas que te puedan representar. En el caso mío, muchas personas piensan que yo soy una pueblerina. Ay, no, ya hasta que me conocen bien y dicen, no, espérate, es que este es el estilo de ella. Imagínate, jíbara del campo. Nosotros en Corozal hablamos así. Pero eso no significa que yo soy una cafre, que yo no tenga modales, que yo no tenga valores. Lo que pasa es que yo soy así pintoresca. Y siendo así, yo he atraído a la gente correcta. Y siendo así, yo he atraído a la gente también incorrecta. Cuando vienen los incorrectos, me ven y dicen, ay no, la cafre. Y se van. Yo no los quiero al lado mío. Yo necesito los que de verdad me apoyen. Pues entonces eso mismo tienes que hacer tú con tu negocio. No tienes el cascajete, consigue. El cascajete es el dinero, mi gente, que, para que lo entiendan mejor. Tú no tienes ese dinero, consíguete entonces. Créeme que lo más que hay ahora mismito es creators. Son personas que están creando contenido y que quieren que los vean.
And it's really interesting porque nosotros estábamos, we were here for the Barrio Arts Fest. Ay, perdón. We were here for the Barrio Arts Fest. There were a lot of vendors of, you know, Puerto Rican artisans that were out there, and it really killed me when I said, oh my God, this is, no, por ejemplo, I'm not saying that this person didn't do this, but mira este jibarito maker, it's amazing. Tú sabes la gente que me pide por esto. What's your social media handle? Ah, yo no hago eso de social media. Mira, yo no estoy en los redes. If you are not on social media with your nonprofit organization, you are shooting yourself in the foot. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Because if we're really serious as a community of building generational leadership and all that, what are our millennials and younger, Gen Z, what are they doing? They're not watching TV, they're especially on social media. And so part of my business, Ivelissa, you quit your job for being a nurse and you dedicated yourself completely to social media. I actually have a business where I consult with nonprofits and foundations on their fundraising and their marketing. And I deal with this all the time where they say, we don't have the budget. We just don't have the budget. Yeah, but you know what? Setting up an Instagram or Facebook account is free. It's free. Es gratis. And I have gotten creative with some of my clients where I'm like, you know what? Let's talk to Columbia College, which is a liberal arts college. They're all in the arts. Talk about their marketing department, find out what internship programs they have with their young people. Try to find whatever colleges or universities in your area that are good and well known for the media arts in particular, and connect with their internship programs and get free. I don't like it when interns don't get paid, but in this case, this is an opportunity, whether it's free or very affordable labor with a very limited scope of work. We need 10 hours from you a week, 5 hours for you a week, and get someone to support you in that. Young people know how to use social media. They know all the, you know, they're not like us in the older, mira, búscame eso ahí, y ponga toda esa cosa que tú haces ahí, you know, búscame, what's my password? Póngame el password. That's not the situation with the younger people now. No. They know how to use this, so trying to leverage internships is important. But if you have a marketing department, for instance, and you have people in those roles that they're supposed to market, make social media a part of their scope of work in terms of their work, their jobs and responsibility. And so that would be my advice and what I give to, you know, my clients as far as if they don't have a budget. But it's a discipline that you have to develop as an organization. There are so many quick and easy ways. What your consumers and what your audience wants to hear is they son entrometidos, you know, they're nosy. They want the behind the scenes, you know. They want to see who are the people behind the organization. If you're saying, ay, yo no quiero estar, you know, in the camera, there's different ways for you to create content where you're not showing your face. And so don't be intimidated by social media. It's a powerful mechanism to reach a public, large audience.
And I want to caveat up. So one of my 17 different jobs that I have, I'm a social media manager for restaurants. And what I tell people is also don't get so wrapped up around the numbers, right? Because somebody's, you know, one of my clients was like, well, I want 10,000 followers como fulano. And I'm like, but are you selling those dishes that we're posting? Are people showing up to your restaurants? Is your reservation book full? And that's how you're gonna measure success. So you might have 1,000 followers or 500, but if those folks are showing up to the events that you're promoting or the programs that you're promoting, that's how you measure success. So, you know, don't get so wrapped around the numbers game.
Oh, no, eso es verdad. And another thing to think is a lot of people, ellos creen that the only way you can effectively work with an influencer is if they have millions of followers.
No, it's
engagement. It's the engagement rate. So what do we mean by engagement? Engagement is, okay, see, if you're a nonprofit and you're looking to work with an influencer, just look at their posts and see the comments.
Los comentarios.
La gente los comentarios son como así bien dry, or is it just a heart, or is it, nena, como yo te dije en mis DMs, esto es, that gives you insight on, oh, this person.
Está conecta con la gente.
That's right.
La gente se cree que me conocen. Ay, tú te me acuerdas a la tía mía. Ay, tú te me acuerdas a mi comadre, a la comay. No la comadre de la de esto porque no es bochinche. Pero
It's true, pero nos meten a los nenes ahí dentro because we share our life in our stories too. In
Yeah.
our stories, they know about your kids, they know about my kids. So when we put a post, I'll never forget one time a girl said, "Oh, is this the same dress Sofia had on the other day?" In the comments. Eso me vale, that's good because you know what? There's a reason why I have Target as one of my brand sponsors.
yes.
Okay, they saw in my comments that I'm engaging with my audience. There's a lot of influencers out there que pongan un post y eso es todo. They don't engage with their audience. They don't go into the DMs and respond to them. And so when I say DMs, that means direct messages, like a little mailbox that you have that is not public. So just, those are some tips. Like if you're gonna work with influencers, look at their posts and the engagement. They might have 5,000 followers, but if you see that they've got like 100 comments or even 15 high quality comments,
Yes.
that lets you know that they're building a relationship behind the scenes with their community.
No, hay muchos de ellos, pero ¿qué tú tienes? ¿Y cómo yo puedo lograrlo? ¿Y cómo yo puedo hacer que las marcas me vean? ¿Y cómo? Siendo tú.
Yeah, that's right.
Siendo tú. There's nothing more powerful in this life que tú seas tú. Número one. Sé tú, habla como tú eres, camina como tú eres, actúa, reacciona como tú eres. Eso Dios te lo dio. Nosotros no somos los únicos, pero nosotros somos únicos. Y créeme, de esa forma tú vas a traer a tu vida la gente que tú en realidad quieres para business, para tu diario vivir y social, lo que sea. Pero nada peor que uno estar en esta vida caminando como un fantasma, caminando, queriendo tener lo que tiene el otro, queriendo vivir la vida del otro. ¿Y la tuya hasta cuándo? Entonces ahí es cuando uno hace la diferencia. A mí me da risa cuando me dicen, me encanta tu éxito. Y te vi en la televisión, en Puerto Rico tengo mucha participación en la televisión puertorriqueña. Y mira, y te vi que esto y lo otro. Y ese éxito, muchacha, está en todo, casi esto, casi lo otro. El éxito para mí es el dominio propio que yo tengo. El éxito que tengo es que ahora yo sé escoger. Ya yo no recojo, ahora yo escojo.
Yeah,
Ahí está la diferencia, que eso hasta en los negocios te van a llevar lejos.
Yeah,
Para que
that's
tú
right.
veas.
And what that means. Now, how does that advice translate to nonprofits and foundations? This is something, I have a client in Pilsen, and they have they're a housing development organization. And they are all Latino owned, like run, the board is Latino, the staff is Latino. It's an incredibly powerful organization. And I said, you guys need to do a Meet the Staff series. Just post a Meet the Staff. And we did a format. I'm just giving you, is this helpful, you guys, the tips, you know, like specific tips? Because I don't like when people tell me general things and then I'm like, pero como? Okay, so Meet the Staff. And so you just ask the same 3 questions. And I remember one of the 3 questions I said is, since you're a Hispanic organization, ¿qué es un dicho que te crió tu mamá que tú usas ahora, verdad? And that one of their posts, because their chief operating officer is like a well-known Latina in Chicago, that went viral. And it helped bring more people into their social media account and followers. I'll never forget one of the guys when I asked what's the dicho, and él es mexicano, and he goes, los huevones no se, something about huevones, and I'm like, I don't think we can post that. And
It's a good engagement.
no, but the thing is, like, Puerto Ricans said un huevón is different than to Mexicans, you know what I mean? And so, yo como que so also be thinking about like the nuances of the communities that you're trying to reach. It's appropriate for them because they have a high population of Mexicans in the community in Pilsen and Little Village that they reach out to. So it made sense for them to post it. But that's another thing. You just gotta be careful because you don't want to get canceled.
So, and the next question I have, because video has become such a big part of social media content, and I read that TikTok has become like the 2nd largest search engine.
Yes.
So people use, and a lot of clients, they're very resistant to TikTok. And what I love about TikTok is that there's a niche for everything. Like I love cleaning TikTok, for example. I've learned a lot there. So I was like, ay, yo podía limpiar con esto. I'm like, wow.
Porque te enseñan.
So the question that I have for you, especially for a lot of people, again, that are undersourced, understaffed is like, what tools do you guys use in terms of apps, editing, things like that folks can use here for their organizations?
Sure, you want to take that, or do you want me to start?
No, está
Por ahí
claro.
para abajo.
Pues para abajo. Yo uso una que, por lo menos para editar y todo, se llama Video Lip, just like that. Pero si no, al principio cuando yo empecé, yo lo que cogí era el teléfono y yo estaba haciendo algo. Lo único malo de los content creators, los influencers como nosotros ahora mismo, es que tú trabajas 24/7, tú trabajas todos los días. Porque todos los días tú estás pensando, ay Dios mío, que yo voy a postear hoy. Ay, pero ¿y qué voy a poner? Pero no puedes tener la mentalidad de que tienes que ir viral, te quieres ir viral, todo, porque entonces estás todo por el dinero, no postar. Pero si no tienes ahora mismo una aplicación que te ayude a editar, yo lo que hacía era, mira que ella me está mirando mal, pero mira, tú sabes qué, nena, yo estoy aquí en el Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico, en los Chicagos. Entonces tengo gente que me está mirando así. ¿A ti te pasa? Cuéntame, dale, dime. Oye, así mismo posteaba el video. 1 minuto, un videito así se iba a virar. Y tal vez ustedes me miran y dicen, ¿y de eso estamos viviendo hoy en día? La gente, eso va conectado con pues, el aburrimiento que tiene, la salud mental como está. Estas cositas así tan simples hacen la diferencia en la vida de ellos. Entonces, pues por eso es que esto que está aquí es lo que está ahora mismo controlando el mundo y controlando todo. Y por eso es que por ahí los negocios empiezan a buscarlos a ellos.
So I also use Video Leap, but there's also there's 2 others that are very popular amongst influencers is CapCut and InShot.
I use InShot.
So you use InShot? Yeah. So there's 3, those are like the 3 principal ones. But like she was saying, TikTok has the ability for you to edit videos within the app. También con Instagram Reels lo puede hacer within the Reels app. But the good thing about using the video editors is like those apps, you can add sound effects. You can do certain transitions really nice. It makes it very visually appealing. What we are seeing right now in social media is that antes cuando la pandemia todo se iba viral. ¿Por qué? Porque we had a captive audience. Everybody was on their phones. Now that people are back at work, they're back in their routine, the quality of your videos matter. People want to see things, not like super curated. They like the organic, authentic stuff too. Pero apps that I also use Trend Talk, which is a app that monitors all the trends that are happening. When I say trends, es cierto musiquita que se está usando mucho.
Que está pegado.
Que
Trend
está
pegado.
pegado. Dice al algorithm, mira, empuja esta cuenta en el For You page para que más gente lo vea.
Y el algoritmo es como corre las redes, lo que hace que avance,
It's like
lo que
what's in
hace que se
style
estanque.
in social media per se. And so I use Trend Talk. You put your information on there, what your niche is. So mine is food, familia, and finds. And when I say finds, I mean what I do is I promote, just like Omi and Ivelissa, the 3 of us, we promote small businesses that are owned by people of color and women of color. Like those are the businesses that we love to promote because we want to lift our people up with us. And so Trend Talk, it's a great app it recommends to you the different sounds and trends that would work well with your niche. And so that's something that I use as well, is Trend Talk. I'm trying to think about all the other tools and stuff. Oh, you gotta get yourself a ring light. Amazon, you can get that for $20. It's not a big deal. But was that?
Yeah.
Ser orgánico, como yo dije.
Orgánica.
Sí, porque te pones a inventar, a veces te rompe la cabeza, caramba, que yo pondré, ay Dios mío, espérate, como yo puedo captar la atención, te vuelves loca, gastas y todo y posteas nada, como nosotras hacemos.
Yeah.
De repente saliste con, mira, tú sabes que por lo menos esas son las que a mí me funcionan. Por eso a mí se me hace fácil, porque no tengo libreto, formato, estructura, nada. Prendo el teléfono, por ahí María se va. Y por ahí María se fue.
Y hablando de Ivelissa, porque cuando estábamos almorzando hablamos de trolls y la gente que escribe comentarios negativos, those who write negative comments, and because this is also part of community management, especially if you are running a public, not a personal account, but a business account, whether it's your organization or a store. So how do you do your community management? How do you, when you get these negative comments and things like that, how do you guys manage that feedback?
Esto es algo que yo he ido aprendiendo, todos vamos aprendiendo bregando con la crítica y la gente que siempre te quiere meter el pie. Pero yo siempre digo, el que te critica es porque algo de ti le pica. Yo soy bien temperamental, así como tú me ves, que soy bien, así mismito me prendo de medio maniguetazo. De medio maniguetazo. Pero entonces he aprendido que lo que ellos me critican en las redes, como tú en tu negocio, usted en su escuela con los estudiantes, Verónica y Billy, ay Dios mío, pero en este edificio siempre hay alguien que te va a criticar y siempre va a haber alguien que está apestado. Pues el que te critica, habla de él. Eso habla de lo que tienen ellos por dentro. La gente te va a hablar de ti y va a opinar de ti de acuerdo a sus filtros, de acuerdo a sus creencias, a su crecimiento, sus costumbres. Eso no son tus business. Lo que dicen de mí, eso a mí no me importa. Eso lo dijiste tú. ¿Por qué yo tengo que hacer eso mío? Si tú tienes un negocio de pintura, tú tienes un negocio de tela, de cupcake, de lo que sea, y así es que a ti te gusta, dele para allá. Pero entonces cuando viene alguien y te dice, ay, qué feo, ay, eso sabe malo, ay, fo. Y yo le digo, ¿verdad? Qué feo, sí. Bueno, déjalo que lo digan. He aprendido que eso es un reflejo de ellos. Entonces, ¿tú sabes cómo han criticado a Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
¿Tú sabes cómo han criticado a Michael Jordan? A este otro, Stephen Curry, que es que tengo un hijo que va a baloncesto, por eso sabe de la NBA. Y mira dónde están. Si tú te dejas llevar por lo que la gente dice de ti, la opinión ajena, eso es como un fundillo. Todo el mundo tiene una. Todo el mundo tiene una. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Entonces tienes que, cuando yo estoy en mis live por la mañana motivando a la gente, mami, a la gente hay que meterle humor. A la gente hay que meterle humor cuando tú le estás hablando, para que te entiendan, porque si no, entonces no te entienden. Cuando yo estoy en las mañanas haciendo mis live en Facebook, que esas doñitas me esperan, las doñitas ya me esperan todas las mañanas. Estoy hablándoles y les estoy hablando y no sé qué, y me critican. Ay, mira, tú siempre estás en traje. Ay, Dios mío, pero ponte unos maones apretados. Mira, nena, pero tú hablas así. Y antes yo me ponía ra con ellos. Yo me ponía tú a pelear y a discutir. Y ahora yo digo, pero si es que yo estoy dejando que el otro me controle. Yo estoy dejando, ay, el mundo es mío, yo me lo voy a comer. Cuando viene el mundo y te tira el primer cacharrazo, ya tú te pones como un gallito y te lo quieres salir a volar. Pero guau. Bueno, pues cuando me critican en las redes, pues tú me ves a mí que lo ignoro, sigo. ¿Sabes? Ese es el poder más grande que tú puedes hacer con ellos. Y sabes que se cansan. Se cansan porque no pueden, mucha gente no quiere ni tu marido, ni tu casa, ni tu profesión, ni tu dinero, ni tu cultura. Lo que quieren es tumbar tu esencia, tumbar tu brillo. Bueno, pues el brilloteo mío no lo van a tumbar. Entonces, cuando me dicen vieja loca, chancluda y la madre de los tomates, pues yo sigo enfocándome en lo que tengo que hacer. Lo mismo pasa con los negocios. Y por ahí seguimos.
I probably like in the 2.5 years that I've been doing this, I can count with one hand how many bad comments I've gotten. And I think, I don't know, it's funny, this is also a misperception that people have about social media, that everybody out there is mean and bad and whatever. I really have cultivated an incredible community on social media. Y respetan. Like, yeah. I probably had a few bad comments, and I don't take it seriously. I either delete it or I block them or whatever, but it's not a big deal to me. So I really have been lucky in that regard, that I really haven't dealt with.
Bueno, yo estoy lucky ahora que me conocen, que ahora tengo una audiencia bastante grande.
¿Tú sabes lo que me
Pero
decían al principio?
No, al principio eso era, ay, no puedo, tengo que bajar, no puedo con ese tono de voz, mami, baja el volumen, eso es.
No, pero tú sabes lo que, you know what, I take that back. En el principio lo que me decían constantemente, in like my first few months of posting content, ay, you're trying to be like Omi.
Oh, yeah.
Ay, tú estás copiándote mucho de Omi. And I'm like,
Rebeca,
Dios mío.
eso, sí.
We grew up, like, Omi and I have a similarity in that we both grew up in this country. You know what I mean? Like, she grew up in Puerto Rico at first until she was 11 and then moved to Rhode Island. And there's just certain things, being Spanglish, using Spanglish words, just certain mannerisms that, and I would call Omi, I'm like, look at this comment, isn't that funny? Pero that's the only kind of negative stuff that I've gotten, nothing crazy.
And I know that a lot of folks have questions,
yeah.
so let's, we can be talking here all day, but...
And I
love it because yo estoy aquí gozando.
No, pero no está mirando como que, dale, que tenemos que seguir el show.
So does anybody have any questions?
Ay, Dios mío, yo pensé que no.
So you go
I
first.
had a question about talking about like the algorithm, like scheduling, how frequent, like if you go viral 1 week, it doesn't mean you continue. So can you talk about like the ups and downs of,
Sure. So what specifically about the algorithm, like how to work with it, make it work for you?
just understanding.
Yeah. So the good thing about Instagram and TikTok and Facebook is that it gives you insights and analytics. I studied marketing communications in college, and data will drive your decisions, you know. And so what I do is I look at, okay, who's my audience? Everything is about who your audience is. 92% women. That's where I'm at on Instagram. And by listening to the comments, what they're saying to you, but it also gives you data on when is the time of day that your audience is most active on the app. Pendiente. Do that, and whatever hour it says for Instagram, it says that it's 6 p.m. That's when my following is really, they're getting off of work. They're getting off of work. They're on the train. They're probably looking, you know, at social media to kill time. And so you should post probably like about an hour before that time, so it's queued up and people get to see that. So the apps will give you insights and analytics on who your audience is and the best time to post. But also your audience will tell you what they want you to post.
Espérate,
Dile.
yo tengo todos los DVD, yo no dejo a nadie a terminar de hablar.
Yeah.
Pero también, yo le digo los DVD porque son muchos. Pero tú sabes que ellos, la audiencia, ellos son los que te van a decir, porque cuando tú posteas un video, mira todo lo que te comentan. Ahora mismo mi esposo me dice, tú te tienes que postear esto, tú vas a ver que te vas a ir viral, y yo lo miro. La gente que me sigue no le va a gustar eso. No, pero tú vas a ver, y lo posteo. Y cuando veo, yo, nada, no engagement, no, nothing. O sea, mis videos se van bastante bien, pero como que no, tú vas a saber, y cuando algo te hace ping, tú dices, espérate, esto es, y tú lo vas a sentir. Y por lo menos, ya yo tengo este estilo. Este es el estilo que tengo que usar. Even que Rebeca es very different than me. Yo trato tal vez de ponerme como es Rebeca, bien proper y bien, no, porque tú me ves a mí así, tú vas a decir, esta que mosco le picó, that's not me. So, el algoritmo ahí a mí no me va a funcionar, por más que yo trate de poner un video como ella.
So what does that mean for a nonprofit or an organization? Is that I had a client that basically one of the posts they did, somebody commented, oh, I applied for that, but I didn't get a response. You know, and so I said, you guys, there's an opportunity here to create a post about the top 3 mistakes that applicants make when they're submitting an application for housing. And it created an opportunity to do 3 separate videos of, we're launching a series, the top 3 mistakes when you're da-da-da-da-da. People love that, you know what I mean? But they love when, like, particularly with food, when they say, ¿y cómo se hace
Un arroz con leche?
y después you post that video with the reply? But it tells your audience that you're watching, you're listening, and that you're being responsive to that. And that's the relational part of social media. You have to make your followers feel like you know them and they know you, and you know, you have a relationship, it's not transactional, so, yeah.
And also engaging with people that have questions. So, and from an organizational standpoint, is even having those responses already made. Like when I do restaurants, people ask a lot of like, what are the opening hours? But I'm like, it's in the bio. But you know, you can't put that. Just, oh, it's in the bio. Or you know, where's the menu? Oh, you can look it up on the website. So as an organization, you kind of already know what are those frequently asked questions. So just have them like on your notebook, on your notes, on your phone. All you have to do is cut and paste them and respond them. But the more you should respond to every comment that is, you know, obviously if you have 100 comments, it's more challenging, but if you're getting 5 or 6 comments, like respond to them, because that also helps the algorithm. Next question.
Ivelissa, por curiosidad, what is your age group in your followers?
Ni si te la pregunto ahorita allí.
Yeah, but I want to do it also.
No, yo sé, tú lo que quieres usted lo que quiere es que todo el mundo aquí sepa que a mí me siguen las viejas.
I just curious before I answer the other question.
No, ya lo habíamos planeado, sí. De 45, el margen más grande es de 45 hasta 80.
Oh, gente madura.
Gente madura, no viejo.
And it's a proof that they're on social media, because
Yeah.
people
Yo,
say que, ay,
aunque
que de
ustedes no
chamaquito.
Y yo me conecto a las 8:30 de la mañana. Y a veces quiero un break también, porque yo tengo 3 hijos. más mi esposo, que ese es el hijo de mi suegra, ese es el cuarto, ese es el hijo mayor mío, y yo los tengo que atender. Entonces ya yo no estoy, los he acostumbrado, me esperan por la mañana. Acuérdate que están los que se van para el yoga, los que se van para el gimnasio, los que van para aquí, los que van para allá, pero hay gente que no le gusta salir, y hay gente que ve el mundo a través de los ojos de nosotros, lo que ponemos por aquí. So, ellos me están esperando. Mire, cuando yo no vengo, me tienen el teléfono explotado. Pero mira, ¿dónde tú estás? Pero mira, ¿dónde fuiste? Pero mira esto y lo otro. Y tengo que estar todo el tiempo, mira. Uno pierde la privacidad. Esto no es tan fácil tampoco. Pierdes la privacidad. Uno está igual enseñándole. ¿No has visto que yo estoy por el teléfono enseñándole a todo el mundo? Mira, saluda. Porque ellos quieren disfrutar esa experiencia, pero sí de 45 en adelante. También tengo la juventud, no te equivoques. Pero pues no son muchos.
¿Ustedes hablan más que de comida,
No, yo por
restaurantes,
lo
o
menos
tienen otros temas
de
culturales de qué
cualquier
hablan?
tema? Por lo menos en mis lives, yo rebajé 60 libras, de las 60 engordé 15. Entonces, rebajé 60 libras, yo hablo de cómo lo logré. Dejé el cigarrillo y dejé el alcohol, que desde los 16 años bebía y fumaba. Hablo de eso. Dejé mi trabajo como enfermera por 12 años, lo dejé porque estaba harta y aburrida y quería ser ama de casa, dedicarme a mi esposo y a mis hijos. Y ese tema también ha llegado muy, muy hondo porque hay muchas mujeres amas de casa que las tildan como que son vagas. También hablo de eso.
Yeah.
Me corté el pelo, ahora a mí me está creciendo el pelo, yo tengo el pelo cortito como un nene. También hablo de eso, cosas que todo el mundo se identifica.
Yeah. Y para mí es la comida, es
Y también
cosa de
comida,
familia, porque what really drew a lot of followers to my page was talking about my caretaker journey with my mom. Dementia and Alzheimer's is ravaging the Puerto Rican community, ravaging it. And so I was sharing very honestly the things that I used to help my mom, just little tips. But I was following other influencers that were giving tips, pero there were no influencers in the Hispanic community that were sharing. Se ve los blancos y los negros, pero no los latinos.
No, no latinos.
And so, but it's very personal because I always was very careful to do it in a way that maintained my mom's dignity, because that is a disease that robs our people of their dignity. And so, food, familia stuff, I'm a mom, I forgot to talk about my kids, 13 and 15-year-old. I'm a first-generation college graduate, so I give tips and advice and motivation to young people that are on their journey of being the first in their family to start a business, to go to college, blah, blah, blah. And the beautiful thing is when we get to do meet and greets, like we did in New York and we did here, and you see the variety of people.
Todo el mundo encima de nosotros corriendo. Y yo por acá con security y todo, ¿verdad? No me equivoqué.
Otra pregunta.
Espérate, te quería ir. Espérate,
Mira,
antes de la
quería hacer una
pregunta.
pregunta.
Ay, Dios mío, espérate, pero déjame decir otra cosa que yo hablo mucho. Nosotros como boricua, me preguntan mucho, ¿cómo tú, boricua, que tienes esa mancha de plátano, llevas en Orlando 20 años? Ese inglés tuyo es bien broken, pero bien rajado. Y los hijos tuyos no hablan español.
Oh, yeah,
Mis
lots of
señores, I'm so
judgment.
sorry,
I
como
can
en
totally
pero no
explain
hablan español, mis hijos no hablan español.
that.
También hablo de eso.
Okay.
Ajá, ¿qué tú quieres que haga? No me quieren hablar español, pues yo no me voy a pelear.
Hi, my name is Xiomara. I'm proud to say I've been the social media manager at the Puerto Rican Cultural Center for the past 2 years. Yes. And we've grown our audience. I can attest, we've grown our audience more than double on Instagram. We've grown it to 200,000 plus people on Facebook. So it is really so powerful to hire folks to really take on the social media for nonprofits. I can say from the experience of taking on the social media at the PRCC. But my question is, and I think it's important as we're in a group of all of us together, is if you all could touch on, I think you all are a good example of how important it is to collaborate with other creators, other accounts. You know, if everybody here creates an account and we support one another, that creates an audience too for us. And so, and I know that you all, I'm wondering how it's been as the three of you coming together and supporting each other, sharing each other, how important it is to collaborate with other people, even if you have the same type of content, even if you might have the same type of audience, how important it is to collaborate.
Well, it's funny because I'm a good example of how, when you look at my accounts, I have compared to Ivelissa and Omi, my following, I have about 500,000 collectively, whereas they are in the 7 digits, okay, collectively. Yes, girl, that's you. And so we've been collaborating for 2 years, and you would think that I would be like at 1 million followers by now. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me because I still got Target, baby. I'm joking, but serious at the same time. But the important thing about collaboration is that we feed ideas to each other all the time. We're like, because we know what each other's niche is. Even though the three of us are Puerto Rican, we're all moms, we've got kids. Interestingly enough, I don't know how this is gonna go over what me saying. We're not married to Puerto Rican men, none of the three of us are. And so the three of us collaborating like that, Omi's more traditional in her Puerto Rican cooking. I do like, for the people that are vegan, gluten-free, blah, 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 blah. The Dominican stuff, she sprinkles that kind of thing. So when we get ideas, we're like, Omi, you should do this. Ivelissa, you should do that. Oh, let's do this together when we get together. So it gives you content ideas, but it's also just comforting to just share in the struggle, because this is hard. Like she said, it's a full-time job. So that's the value of it. Anything else you want to add?
No, porque es que tengo más preguntas.
And actually, sadly enough, we don't have any more questions, but these amazing women are going to be around for till tomorrow. So, asáltalas después.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you, Jessica, Rebeca, Ivelissa. I just want to share our story, how we reconnected, because how did the museum get involved with Omi, Ivelissa, and Rebeca? And during the pandemic, I was watching Rebeca, because my mother has dementia. So I was going through, I'm like, oh, that's good, Rebeca. And that's how we reconnected. And then once the pandemic started to weigh down, we had our Barrio Arts Fest. And my husband, he's a visionary, he's like, I want to do a fritura cook-off. Like 2 months before this, and I'm like, you want to add a fritura cook-off to the Barrio Arts Fest? And I was like, well, then we got to reach out to Rebeca, because that's what she does on social media, to see if we could get more people, to see if she could get involved. And of course, Rebeca, gladly. Yo estoy ahí, but I have 2 influencers, Ivelissa and Omi, that have to come too. And that's how this collaboration happened. And they continue to uplift the community. So if you're here and you have social media, if you don't see them, they can help you make a quick Facebook, Instagram. Make sure they tag you. They'll tag you. They'll do it. They're so loving, and I love how they uplift, encourage, and inspire. So thank you. You as well, Jessica. In her book, we have a whole YouTube channel where she travels through Puerto Rico with her book and does the culinary arts. So it's just a blessing for us to have you here. So thank you. Yeah. We're going to go on a 5-minute break. Take advantage of them. You will go viral, I promise. Thank you.